Okay.
I'll check in with you.
Okay.
Can I just keep watching the same frame? That's why you don't go by every frame.
Nice. Morning.
Here, excuse me.
Yeah, oh, yes. Sorry.
Sorry.
The interviews for the new principal are this evening
Oh, okay.
in Curlew.
What day and time is the graduation?
I do not know.
Okay, I do not either.
One day at a time, Jonna.
Okay. Yeah, well, then I usually miss that. I go, oh, that was a couple hours ago, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So how many applicants for the new principal?
3. It's 2 gentlemen and 1 woman. Looks really promising.
Good.
That was this year, Jonna?
Yes, ma'am. That was just very recently. Okay.
How many copies would you like?
I guess 4, please. Oh, good.
Is Mike coming?
I don't know. He's not been in touch with you?
He's not been in touch with me, so I think he's probably coming. Maybe he's just running a little behind.
Is Rock Cut's not by McGowan's, is it? Where the clearance?
It's on the other side, right? I saw that. I'm not really sure.
I thought that was where the...
Is that big bridge that you guys concerned about? Goes across the side.
Rock Cut, I think it's the one where the train is washed out.
Okay.
By the...
Because in the email there, Bob definitely took a look at that.
Okay. So that would be, if we share it, I think we could share both of these. Thank you.
I'm not sure on the original ownership.
Thank you. We'll address this first.
Yes. I just messaged him.
Okay.
Sometimes it was a long weekend. I don't know. I don't have anything saying he won't be here. Here, we'll talk about it.
Oh, it's okay. Yeah, I'm gonna transfer this. Yeah.
Commissioner's office is Amanda. I hate it when it does that. Darn it.
You might have,
I think he's probably calling about the DOE training that.
well, it's, they're, they don't want to do about the RCC meeting because they're gonna need it for training, and they change the dates, and get confused about what's going on with their group, and that's why I said, I'll talk to you about, I told them that session right now, but it's just.
The one drawback to that hands-free is sometimes if you have it and you press it and it lifts the phone, it will bounce and it'll hang up. So if I ever accidentally hang up on you,
She
I've
does
done
it.
it to Jonas.
That's her excuse.
That's
She
her
does it.
excuse.
It's like, oh, did I do that? I didn't do that on
Yeah.
purpose. Yeah, we've heard that before.
I just
Phone service
hung
in
up
the
on
area.
Harry Teeley. So I
Oh.
feel sad. I'll,
Oh, yeah, that's right. You guys are going to DOE next week, aren't you?
yeah, I guess it's about something else though. he has questions about the RCC meeting that they want to do. The day that we're going to the BOE training, let me see, there's my, the day that we're going to the BOE training is the day that the technical meeting would be.
We're just gonna have to flip it to another day.
So that was part of his question apparently, and so.
But he was also really confused about what's going on with their group and
And
there
what-
still is a group and.
Yeah.
And that's gonna be a discussion, isn't it?
So maybe I should get him on the agenda, so you guys can all talk about it or something, because I don't have answers to those kind of questions, because I'm not in charge of that, I can change the schedule, but.
Yeah. We have. Yeah.
Morning.
Good morning.
Oh, my.
How are you? Didn't know if you were gonna make tender. Didn't know if you were gonna make it today. Didn't know if you were gonna make it today.
I didn't either. Got out of bed and both legs collapsed.
Good.
Thank you.
Just expecting that.
Well, I'm not expecting it, but Alina is. Thank you.
So we ready? Now you got sat down, Mike, you get to stand up again.
I'll stay down.
Okay, we're gonna open the meeting. It is May 29th, 2018. It's 9:08 a.m. Mike, would you open in a prayer, please?
Heavenly Father, we give you thanks for this day. We give you thanks for this great nation and the laws that protect us and our rights. Would you be with us today, Lord, and give us good advice in our decision-making that comes before us today. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Nathan?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, before we get started, we have, John, we have a recording and a video policy that's in place, so I'm going to need to move your video, please. So Teresa, that also means any videoing that's being done is going to have to be moved to that location. Amanda, do we have any changes, additions?
I don't have anything right now.
So is this to avoid conflicted seating?
Part of it's actually under the advisement of the Open Public Meeting Act that the gentleman we talked to said that we should have a policy for things that need to be in place and where they
Right.
should be placed.
Okay, because this is like one unit here. I can't be in two places at the same time, but we will, I'll be into the third row of chairs. That's right here.
Yes. So, board organization.
That was from, that right there, you guys each got a copy of, is from, Dennis Morgan.
I think the county's been saying that for a long time. Hasn't it?
Yes, it's a true story. Board organization,
Maybe a response to problems.
I think that it may be a preemptive response.
Yeah.
Here's the data to support what I'm gonna tell you,
Mhm.
perhaps.
Well, I talked with some
Yeah,
individuals.
yes, I know exactly what you're referring to.
Yeah.
Okay, so board organization.
So Monday I have this meeting as well as canvassing,
Monday the 4th.
1 to 2.
6-4. Canvassing. Okay,
And I think that's all.
and that's all?
Yeah.
Okay,
This week or 4th through the 9th.
yes.
Let's go with that, Chris.
Nothing? I'm gonna be
Oh.
at the senior BOE training, just to make sure you guys know, I'm leaving the 6th because I'm taking Terry and Margot. And they prefer to leave the day before for the purpose of being fresh in the morning, which is totally understandable.
Yeah.
And then I'll be back. So our training's actually the 7th, but we'll leave half day on the 6th and get there and then be there for the 7th, and we'll be back. I'll be back for Friday.
Okay.
I just want you guys to be aware of that. That's where I'm gonna be.
All right.
Um,
Looking far ahead, I'm probably gonna have to skip July and do something either late in July or in August, because Liz got a reunion
Okay,
at the same time that you're gone and I was gonna be gone, and that's just not gonna work. Somebody's gotta be home, so. And if Mike's out, then I'll wait till later in the month, or, I don't think anything works in June. I think June's too slammed, so I'll let you know.
okie dokie. So Mike has nothing, and Nathan,
I think business recruitment on 31st, which is Thursday.
that's for next week, Nathan. So like, we're talking about the 4th
Mm-hmm.
through the 8th? Because I already put this week on our agenda.
Yeah. It's most Thursdays, actually, so.
So,
And
6th,
Wednesday, I think we're gonna have our, I don't know what you call it, BAT meeting with the rural broadband stuff.
6, that meeting. And then
Hasn't been
6,
decided
7,
exactly.
business recruitment. I think I have it written down. Did I? Wednesday. Interesting. Okay. Business recruitment on Thursday.
And the other ones are just working on the different projects.
Okie dokie.
Okay, I just added this to the pile of stuff. So them on the agenda. And I don't know, should we contact Okanagan about possibly like a letter of support at this point? Before the fact?
I think so.
Okay.
It doesn't have to be complicated, but I think it
I think it's,
would help them
I do
in
too.
their argument.
And this was interesting, this was the link, one of the things that they sent out with this thing. I think it was that letter and then this, but this is an interesting.
It came with,
I don't understand the thinking.
lakes and stuff.
Mhm.
Introduce foreign thing, and then figure out later,
And then it's
whoops.
like, oh, maybe that wasn't such
And
a
then they
bad
have to
idea.
kill everything off and start over.
Yeah, well, the Grizzlies will take care of that.
So, Mike, what do you think about maybe a letter of support for Okanagan in that?
Yeah, we gotta specify what you want me to support, because I'm reading the letter and it says North Cascades Ecosystem. Grizzly
We're not
Bear
supporting the letter,
Restoration.
we're supporting
Yeah,
Okanagan.
okay.
Okay, yeah, it's just.
I think so. Well, I don't even think just, I think we ought to have our own letter of
That's what I mean.
objection.
Right. And then,
But in essence, it's
Right.
supporting the argument that Okanagan has.
but they would also like to get on our agenda to come in and discuss it, so I think that's a good idea too, from June or July. I think that actually we're coming in to justify it.
Yeah.
Okay.
The money they're gonna
Yeah,
spend
we'll see.
doing.
Do you have a contact person?
I think there's, on the email part of it, there's a,
Okay. And you want to get them on there so they can explain what the purpose of the decision is?
yeah, that would be nice. I think she kind of explains in there a time to sit down and discuss this 10J, whatever it is. So-
Is it already done, or do we have actual say in whether or not it's going to actually happen, or is it already
We're
going
gonna
to
move ahead like we have an actual say.
be? Okay. I was just curious if it was like some, yeah.
Yeah, there's always that. Amanda, did you get that, that I sent you an email on the contacts for DOT? Because we talked about having somebody come in about the signs over.
Did I, okay, so is it?
I think I sent you one, but I came across stuff the other night with names again, so that's why I wanted
Okay,
to ask.
so I don't know what you're talking about,
Okay,
but in regard to something you asked me to schedule, is this one with Kirk Pearson? I contacted him and we're working out a time that works best for him regarding economics and job creation. The one that you asked me to from Wes,
oh, okay, that's a different.
so that one, but it just,
Okay.
So
I,
that's the
Did you
deal.
remind me?
we brought it, we talked about it after Doug came in regards to.
just forward me the email
Okay, I
with
thought
like a
I
note. And
did, but I'll find the chain.
okay,
'Cause there was
if
a-
you forward it and say this is what I was talking about, schedule this or whatever,
Okay,
then it won't, then I'll be sure I know what you're talking about and
I will.
I'll take care of it.
and because I found it again last night, that's why I brought it up, to see if I had actually done that.
Because I get a lot of emails, Jonna.
You do?
And if it- So if I get one that
So
says,
can we have like a secret word I can just put on the subject that's like rhubarb?
please schedule something and then I'll
Oh,
know for sure
you
I
like
need to
rhubarb?
follow up. Because sometimes it's informational and sometimes it's rhubarb, okay?
Okay, all right. It's a safe word, right?
Yeah.
Consensus is we will send a letter of support
Yeah.
to
And
Okanagan and object to the grizzly bear recovery plan.
okay. And then maybe
Actually-
we'll get these people on the agenda too.
I found the second part of that very interesting, and that's the reintroduction of the other species. And if they focused on animals that were actually going extinct, it wouldn't bother me so much. But when you have a native population throughout the world large enough to sustain the species, it's stupid that we subject ourselves to the idiotic notions of a few people.
think the camera lenses need to be washed.
What's that?
The camera lenses need to be washed, I think, out there, wiped down.
Mhm.
They're really milky. At night, all I see is like a milky fuzzy halo around the edges. Daytime, it looks nice and clear.
We'll have to get the other ones to fill the gap where there's a
Yes.
blind spot.
We should do that soon, talking about it.
Agree. Let me write it on my list. Cameras.
I'm just looking at Friday and look at cabinets too. To put back there and stuff. Just gonna color it like this.
If it's gonna be a $400 purchase, we're gonna have to get their, like, sign
I
off.
figure we'll find
Thank you very much.
one or two or something.
Mhm, options.
The options.
Have you guys been following this wolf incident on Essex? It's absolutely ludicrous. They're not going to declare that a wolf kill because Ron didn't have enough non-lethal activity going on. The calf was killed 10 feet off of his property. And they don't want to claim it as a wolf kill because should they do that, then the total pack is down to one more kill and it would draw lethal measures.
I thought they did declare that as a third kill.
They declared it as a wolf kill, but not the third for the total pack because Ron didn't have enough non-lethal or evasive action stations.
He checks his cows.
All he did was walk out of his porch and check his livestock on a daily basis. He's supposed to have up flagery or lights or all a range rider, but his calf's still dead. And a wolf kill.
And it's not a place where wolves have traditionally been a huge problem. So, you know,
Remotely followed it since
I don't know
started back
How
in
would he know he
discussions back in
needed to-
2006.
how all that is my
But I think the
question.
players involved
regarding
are-
that.
You
And as Don DeShield points out, it's not what was intended in that
know,
rule.
from the last that we had heard about it, I mean, we have very little input.
Yeah.
No.
It's the big
That's
agencies that's, you know.
Oh my
control
gosh, those
everything.
deer.
I know, right?
We had a
I
deer.
like the older place.
She's looking
Oh.
to see if it's on camera where the
They're running in my truck.
Nobody was
This
here.
I don't
was,
know.
this was actually on Sunday.
I don't know.
They
We
triggered
put a
it.
lot of time into it
Yeah.
at this
Yeah.
point,
Camera.
because we're probably
Walked
still
right
looking
through
at
my
years
parking
down the
spot
road,
like they own
Yeah.
it.
because they,
Well, they did.
I know Wes and Karen
They were
were
good.
pretty
They
involved in it,
absolutely
so
were. I like when they look through that window right
Yeah.
hand in or just an
I
occasional.
heard so much banging on
Just
Friday when I was.
a lot of times it's
alone.
nice
There
to
was
get
so
an
much
update
banging
from
going
them.
on, and I'm
They can
like,
see where
no one's
we're
coming in,
at things,
the door
but
was
it's,
locked
even their
all
last
day.
update
And I look at the camera.
at the
it's
Quad
nothing.
County,
Finally, at one point I came out here and looked and I didn't see anything, but.
they
there
had
was an outdoor restaurant
very
or
little
something.
input
It's just
into it,
Bam!
Yeah.
and
Bam!
they're part of
Against the
it,
side of the building.
let alone the counties, you know.
So I hate that, it always happens when you're alone.
Of course.
Yeah,
They're ghosts.
Oh,
yeah.
That's
okay.
really
There's
Tommy,
always
did
ghosts
you
when I'm
know that?
alone.
Oh,
Better start something here. I wanted to work once in a
So
while.
keep an eye on
Yeah.
that. I suppose.
probably because you're here alone and it's quieter.
That's right, I grew up in a haunted house, I'm all right, I'm good.
I saw that little haunted house this weekend. We went to Molson.
Okay, so this is,
Oh, that's not even a haunted house.
The
though.
same thing,
So-
just
I assumed that
separate.
was the
No,
haunted house.
the ranch house, by the fire pit.
Mhm.
I didn't realize it was
Yeah.
printed out.
Ranch house, is it McKinney? Ranch house at some point.
So any thoughts on the Tri-County Forestry Group meeting?
You really want my thoughts? I guess I wasn't surprised, I guess.
I found a contradiction in what was said, that the environmental community is only going to observe and not participate. And then at the end of the meeting, when you say them, say, oh, and by the way, Kiana Luke said she just couldn't be here due to other, and she's not boycotting. that it was implied she was boycotted by the other party.
I did notice that too.
I heard that.
Mhm.
And I definitely want to look at those minutes as soon as you get them drafted.
Okay, I'll get them done first thing this week. That's why I made sure I clarified what I thought I heard him say, because it was kind of a big statement.
It was.
And sometimes you think you hear stuff, and then maybe they didn't mean it that way, so that's why I stopped it and said, hey, is this what you said?
Yeah.
Because I wanted to make sure I noted, because it's kind of an important deal, and I didn't want to misquote it on that.
Mhm.
Even if they are just notes, that seemed pretty important.
I still don't understand how the conservation community thinks that they need compensation for any action taken that isn't in their direct benefit.
Right.
You would think at some point, they have the entire forest, they can walk on. They don't have to have trails, they can get off the trails and walk. Nobody prevents them from that. And they can use every road, every path, motorized or non-motorized, for their use. So then you turn around,
I was talking.
you don't hear the motorized community saying, look, you got 10,000 miles that you can walk
And he
in
was
here. So we need 10,000 miles we can run. No,
potentially
we're not asking for compensation.
allowing
We're just asking for
either
fair
more
treatment.
spraying
Right.
or allow citizens to
I
get
do
the spray
appreciate
that
what
lasts
Stan
for
had to
30
say
days rather
regarding
than
just
a 3-day
having
life.
them
span
acknowledge
some of the
their
spray.
license.
Because he says
Because that
you
seems
buy
like
the,
a cut and dry thing.
you
It
know,
doesn't
a lot
change
of it,
anything
you have to
regarding the
have
road. It's
applicator's
just
license,
acknowledging
whatever, but I don't know
that
that.
license.
Since we've
And what's
declared a
frustrating
state
is
of
policy.
emergency, if that
I
would
know.
There is
It's
no
administrative.
legitimate science or
the restrictions
And that's kind of
allow
what Travis Fletcher was
public
kind of just
or
getting to. He
designated
said, I
people
know in the notes
who are
that they
own
didn't have to do anything.
mosquito district.
And that
He
it's
says
just
they are
pretty much
bad.
an
You know,
administrative
you live
decision.
up that way too.
So
but
I
even
appreciated that candidness.
a few times, like in job board,
Yeah.
swarms of them this year.
So then what does that do like with an
I think it's miserable.
If you
Oh, I
want to
know.
put something out for
It's like
30
he's in
days.
jail.
This time,
Yeah.
every year, it's hot.
Hopefully he'll be able to
I
get
just
it
said I'd
off
bring it
before
up
gets
in
too
a
too
meeting
hot,
and
you know
just
what I
kind
mean?
of see any options or contact Lorna, to see if there's
I'm
any.
gonna have to go and see if they'll give me those shots again.
You want to discuss it?
To relieve your pain.
Yeah.
All the time.
Because I don't have a lot of history on the
Middle of
mosquito
the night, I
district
woke up
and how it
twice because
operates,
I rolled the wrong way, laid too long.
and what the rules are.
Just throw up.
You think it'd be flexible depending on
Hips.
Mm-hmm.
situations, and if we have a lot more flooding, a lot more water.
Well, we might be able to get, if we did it next week, we might be able to get more going here too, because she did it before.
And it might be a conversation with the health district too.
Trying to lose weight, so I'm trying to.
Say, hey.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
I know.
Zika, and, all the different concerns and mosquitoes. If we have 10 times the amount of mosquitoes, it could be a concern. I'm just not really sure what avenue to take other than chatting with Lorna and maybe the health district.
Okay, how much we can do, because there's two of them in the mosquito thing, the 70s trouble.
I'd have some background.
So, I think probably the health district would be good. So,
So Mike,
I thought I spelled out
I was talking to John Foster a little bit, and he was wondering if there's anything we could do on the mosquito stuff. Because there's the one spraying that this year is exceptionally bad with all the flooding stuff, and he didn't know if there was access to the spray, or if we could spray again, not just the one shot. And I'm not sure what,
Is this up by Curlo?
what mechanism they go through, maybe get more
That's what I would do. I'd first, maybe we need to have her come in and
Jonna,
have a conversation with her.
yeah.
Jonna, is that the one with the bridge abutment that you have? That you wanted to have a copy of? The one that you said, can I have a copy of this? And I said,
Yeah.
just keep it. Will you let them see it before you keep the?
yeah, we did.
Okay.
The other thing you're gonna see though, at least I'm hoping it's the way it is.
I did.
3 days ago,
I just want to make sure.
right
Thank
after
you.
those rains, mosquitoes at our place were just thicker than thick. And then 2 days of dry, I haven't seen them lately. And then the fact that the wind came up,
Yeah.
the wind really helps.
Wall, yeah.
blocking the Stevens County, right?
Actually, they were blowing them north when I, up in my house. We started that building on top of the hill. I spent all afternoon there. And you know, these plastic lawn chairs, they won't stand up. The wind blows so hard, it just flops them over right now.
A lot of mosquitoes away.
We picked a good place to put that venue. It was blowing hard enough that I put the wind to my back and it was sawing. And I created such a vacuum, it sucked all the sawdust right back into the I am gonna have that building enclosed before the end of this month. No, next month, isn't it? Not quite there yet. The end of June.
So you guys are already spending the night for the wedding? In the-
Yes. I don't know where John and Jackie made their reservations. We're staying at a Quality Inn
Mhm.
in San Antonio.
I think that's what they said they were gonna do. You can't find it? Oh, it's okay.
Here's engineering kind of wash
And if
out
you guys want copies, just let me know. I know Ron wants them.
on your side.
I'll give a copy of this to Amanda for the
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
unfunded.
I'll take
Coffee?
coffee.
Nathan, do you want coffee? Nathan,
What's that?
do you want coffee?
Oh, I got some.
Okay.
Cool, thank you.
I know you don't drink the coffee, Jonna, so I'm not even gonna ask you.
No,
But it doesn't mean I don't care about you. I just
it's
know.
buzzy now. So I did find the basic training online,
Basic training.
yeah, for emergency management.
Okay.
So it's like a couple hours worth, I'm halfway through. Once you get through that pile, then there's another training, and Stevens County got a grant to do that training.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm on looking into that, but this is all part of what I was doing this weekend, was going through the initial one that you can do online and checking into the other. And I thought maybe we could see about if there's some other counties that are doing, we could tag into too on the second phase. So
Okay.
that,
Well, I'm just thinking.
one of those.
Good morning. How are you, Joyce? Oh, are you recovering?
I'm trying.
The one I'm doing on.
But it's taking its time.
Assessing through. And there's a certification, I guess, at the end.
You sound like yourself again, though. Getting closer. You really sound like Rosanna on the phone.
Oh.
Mandatory. Apparently is.
Like a look at overview,
Yeah.
a lot of different things.
And I don't know if you saw Butch's email. This is, so, but I got the links and everything, if you're interested. It's about 20 or 30 minutes.
I'll get that done by the end of the day. Okay.
I just have a quick question.
Sure.
I did it for you.
Oh, okay.
That's my deadline. We have to get it reviewed today. So I took the numbers out of the line of it. Is the business recruitment still just on the capital facilities list? Or did it, is it part of comprehensive plan?
Morning.
Facility.
Did you get my message?
I mean, we rent the space.
Sorry.
Try to economic.
This, it goes like this.
Because when we
And then it bounces and
originally
it won't hang up, so I swear.
did the, set up the office and bought everything,
Yeah, she,
it was on the capital facilities list to buy all that
Right.
stuff, so.
I mean, the equipment.
Right.
Scheduled for the 7th.
So the computers, big screen.
Yeah, because the grant ran under that
So,
fund as well.
right.
And so, we didn't know if it, this is like continuing, but now it's not really a capital outlay at this point, but it is still using these funds. So I didn't
Right.
know if it's, was it made part of our comprehensive?
So,
I don't recall. I'd have to relook at it.
I feel like you guys should probably talk to commissioners.
So what's the issue?
Well, when we set up the Business Recruitment Center, originally we had it listed on the capital facilities list. And I thought the difference between that and the comprehensive plan is the capital facilities list is like when you initially put out the capital outlay for the equipment in it. In this case, we're not buying the building, but we rented it for like 5 years.
5 years, right.
Believe it or not, it's coming up right in.
Yeah, so here.
Been that long.
And so I didn't know if it should have moved from the capital facilities list to the comprehensive.
I would never do that to Terry.
We can,
He knows
we
that.
can adjust.
Maybe that's the move we make.
I think one of the things is though, does it affect the funding at all?
I don't think so.
It has to be on the capital
Tribal funding.
facilities list in order to spend.
The money.
Distressed area funding, if it's not on our list,
Like this
then
one?
you couldn't do that, right?
Yes.
Well,
we do.
because Trico comes out of those same funds, Fortune
Yeah.
did. And that says it's on the comprehensive plan, and I didn't know if there was a difference, if I needed to, if I should leave that as is, or if I need to give it a different designation, or is it supposed to be on the other list now that it's up and running, or?
No, I think it needs to stay there because there may be additions we need to do to it. And we can't do it if it's not on the capital facilities list, is what I was told.
Right.
Well, that's been my past belief, that
Yeah. Okay.
if it's not on the capital facilities list, and I don't know why it couldn't be on both and not hurt anything, but if it doesn't, we definitely want to keep the ability to spend funds to it.
I'll be waiting.
And Terry, these numbers are so reasonable on the positions and businesses estimated to be created to.
Probably actually higher, but we've had some come and go. Like quite a few in our county, but
You want to change it or leave it?
I think it's a bit higher, actually.
So,
Like, probably double that.
double. Okay. All right. I'll put it in there. We'll call it
Okay.
good. Thank you. You know, I'm getting a little nervous now. Tomorrow's the Fed deadline, and I have the auditor and treasurer review it before then.
So I guess the question comes on this bridge.
Oh, you're fine. Thank you.
Thanks.
Is it our responsibility or is it Stevens County? Stevens County built all these bridges.
Even the ones on McGurman's?
Huh?
The one on McGurman's, we share the.
They replaced virtually every bridge on the Kettle River from the Laurier to the twin bridges at Lake Roosevelt.
Okay.
And they even did that one. We provided what we could for it, but we didn't have the kind of money it takes. So I imagine this is a Ron question,
Yeah.
but we definitely want to make sure this gets on the list of expenses because that would be a cheap fix.
Well, it seems like last year when we went and looked at McGurman's Bridge and Stevens County was there, they felt that the bridge was okay.
Well, this is an RA bridge. This bridge is a rock cut. That's just
No, I
one
know that,
line.
no, I know, I'm just trying to put my head around, you know, there wasn't any talk about us having to work with Stevens County on that bridge should something happens. It happened, it was
Well,
more.
let's ask that Public Works in here, Jay? Yeah.
Okay,
So
Yeah,
we
that's a
need-
good question.
We need to talk to them.
okay. Yeah.
They're here twice, once for hearing and once again for
Okay.
update.
Well, you should be able to have that right to the FEMA, right?
Yeah.
I would think so, you know, whether it's
I
through
don't know.
Stevens or through us.
I don't know what they recommend for repair on that. But if you don't have a footing to hold the bridge up, the bridge ain't much.
Start all over again.
And they're showing it washed out underneath, almost 4 feet underneath the base.
Pumping concrete or something.
Well, that's kind of what my thought was. You probably have to do some serious excavating and then build a new form and fill, reshoot. That would be the cheapest way.
Yeah, redoing it,
Otherwise,
yeah.
you're gonna lift that bridge up and redo it? I don't think so.
No.
It'd be millions of dollars.
I'm sure some engineer somewhere will have enough knowledge to know what to do. We'll set that out so we bring it up again. The nice thing about Dennis Morgan sending this is we now can say that we didn't go looking for trouble. It's right here at the doorstep.
Yeah, I have a few calls about complaints. Not
Probably on the individual or on the system.
Individual.
It's Tuesday.
So did you do the study on this?
I won't be here that
Donna?
week.
She's working on it.
Yeah.
I won't be in that trade.
Looks a
Part of the
little
new
intense.
Part of the new file,
You got FEMA, now you got NEMA, huh?
I guess.
And both of them come without any funding.
NEMA before
You want
FEMA.
this back down there?
I'll put it there. It's my no stuff.
That looks like Deadman Creek.
Because I missed this week and I missed this week, so I can make that would be better. So I get off at 4. You guys want to meet me here? And then we'll just leave your vehicles here, you just drive with me. Sounds good. You sit in the front, please. 4. Yeah, you have to sit in the front.
So 4 o'clock.
Yeah, because you're my navigator. Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you. I'm not really sure. Amber Creek. Bye, Ferry. Just to give you guys a brief heads up, I have scheduled the remaining RCC people on the agenda for the 4th. And what they're asking for is a direction and what they need to be doing. So I want you guys to all be thinking about that so that you can actually let them know at that time, because I've scheduled an hour for you guys to kind of work it out and figure it out, because they're good volunteers and
Yeah.
we don't want to lose our people, or you guys just need to decide and
Okay.
let them, line them out so that they can move forward, because they're just trying to reschedule their meeting, because Terry's going to be at the BOE. So I just got it rescheduled, and then you're gonna come in, so have it, at least be pondering it for yourself, and so we can get that off the list. Didn't pick up.
No. See, the last one's right here. And I just tapped the camera when I was out there, and it was more easy for me. None of it.
Isn't that very interesting?
So, anyways, yeah, we need a, that. We're going to take back that already.
I don't know, I think two more so that it's kind of like, don't you? Do you think one will cover them? I think they sell them in twos, actually.
Yeah, that's fine.
Nathan, those video cameras that we bought, didn't they sell them in twos?
You can buy them singly too.
Can you? Okay, then we might just need one more. Do you think one more would cover that big blind spot in the middle, or do you think one on each?
Probably one would be fine.
One would be fine,
That's
okay.
all right.
You're the one who mounts it, so like I just want to make sure that that's
Okay.
okay.
I know we can put this together.
Yeah, we can't always add another one. That's very true.
We recorded a whole lot of cobwebs in the night.
Spider activity. right?
Just tons of cobwebs and bugs flying around the cameras. So I have to knock the cobwebs down again.
Do they trigger the camera? Cobwebs?
But swaying in the breeze. Yeah,
that right?
they'll trigger it every 2 minutes and fill up the entire SD card with nothing but cobwebs.
I got a son-in-law put out a game camera, and he neglected to check the vision in front and a limb. When the wind would blow, it'd come out across it, trigger his camera. So we got lots of limb activity, but no animals.
Yeah.
And like that, it filled up the
SD card.
SD card.
Yeah. Every so often I have to go out and take the cobwebs down.
Some of those on that sheet, you could answer it either way.
Yeah, no.
You're doing it all, but it's all important.
Yeah. No, exactly. It all ties together. So that's what I put together.
Oh, okay.
I got one with Joe Kratz. Still refining it, but I wanted to get something together. Together. I did get some information from Sean, the costs of medical for the jail, some different things.
And when was I reading here just recently? It looks like that's even going to increase.
Put in a bunch of the charts that we went through before, just to highlight different aspects.
The only thing missing on this chart is senior exemption.
Yeah, no, it's in the chart that Rachel gave
As long
me.
as you're talking about it, you explain that there's a good portion of this.
And I think that could be an enhancement to this chart that I could put in there.
If you can find the actual numbers. Rachel should have those proof.
Yeah, and the chart that she gave me, they weren't there, but it was brought up by other people, and so
Yeah, 'cause I
it's
think-
something that we can identify.
Early on, I think we represented that we had about a 17% tax base. And,
So, I mean, that was part of the discussion that we're having too, is, there's been that push to up our ability to charge more on property tax. And that's all well and good for King County, but when you look at the percentage,
yeah.
and I was talking with Steve Kiss the other day too, they have the same thing, you can raise it, but it doesn't mean much money at all. So it doesn't help us in the same way it would a big county that has 10,000 people in
All
one
you
block.
do is drive more people out because it has to be so high.
Yeah,
And that's what they're gonna find out at King County is they keep
when
pushing.
you have 5% that's paying the bulk of your taxes, you have to raise it to such an extent
Mhm.
that it's just not
You
feasible.
kill it, no.
One size doesn't fit all, and that's what I was trying to point out, with that. So I'm hoping with the
So-
conversation and then looking at the chart, they can, put that together as far as.
The two factors that I haven't seen yet, and you may be here, you can tell me, but one is the aging population. Our population's on a slope about like this for aging, and that being 60 and over, which impacts the economics because then most of those are retiring and they become fixed income.
Let me write these down, because the whole point of this is a starting point,
Yeah, this is a good start.
and then after that, as we refine it, I got more ideas, more data to put together, but, so the 2 points already would be the exemption, senior exemption.
Or at least have it when we give presentations.
But I can throw it in there,
If,
as being some numbers and show it for what percentage and what it looks like. Then maybe a chart that highlights our aging of our county over the years and the changes and the different demographics.
one of the other things that might be helpful, at least to the politicians, those who will be reviewing it, is take a look at your, if you're looking for trends, look at your school enrollments. Because school enrollment is a reflection upon
Your economy.
youthful family,
Mhm.
which is directly impacted by the lack of jobs. Ooh, this one's got quite a diversity. Oh, public defender costs, yeah.
So this is the data I got from Sean, and he just gave me like 17-month random. But I was able to chart it out and then divide it out with the amount that was treated for this amount of money. And it comes to almost $1,700 per inmate that the county is having to pick up.
What's the time frame on that 16? Those inmates are in here how long?
Well, it all varies.
Okay.
So what, he gave me 17 months of data. And so it went from the 1st of 2017 through May. So that was 17 months. I had him go back and give me the number that were treated in that. It was 52, and then when I divide it out, it kind of gets, you know, and a lot of it, you know, a lot of them are on the Apple Health or whatever when they go in, but then that ends as soon as they walk in the door. And all of a sudden the county picks up. So that's what we've had to pay. So
Thank you.
it's good data. It wasn't quite in the form that I was thinking at the time, but I was able to use it.
This is key right here. You
Yeah,
come in and
divide
you
it
have
out.
$1,700,
Yeah.
basically.
But, you know, it makes the point that goes with that, so I appreciate Sean for giving that data.
Did you get any numbers on how law enforcement, where it was, say, in '88 versus where it's at today, cost-wise? That might
So,
play.
not like total budget?
Yeah, and that shouldn't be too difficult, just
No,
using the
it
sheriff's
just depends
budget
on
numbers. Because,
if that's what we want to use, and then I can go in and get the data.
this is pretty good.
And then I put about 10 gigs of all of the fire stuff, the 2 years of flooding, all the videos that we've done on that, and gave it to them.
So I suspect we need to duplicate that by about 10, 15 times. Each
Yeah.
one of-
I made
each
4,
one of-
so I made 4, I've
Okay.
given 3 away already. So as we refine it, I bought 4 more folders, and then Amanda,
You're not
is
throwing
replay.
that out of your pocket, are you?
well, I did, but,
I ordered stuff.
but
Okay.
bought like $100 in drives, and then Amanda got these for me, so
Okay.
it'll,
Let's get that reimbursed because there's no reason for you to have to pay for
Yeah, no, that's why I ordered this stuff. I was gonna
Yeah.
just give it to him, but we didn't have as many as he needed on hand. So I just,
right. And I had a short period of time because of the
yeah, it
schedule
was
and stuff. So if you want to look through this, John, and any ideas that we can add to it, and stuff,
They get all
more
crazy.
people. So I did a presentation at WorkSource in Spokane,
that's what I'm doing.
and it really wasn't planned, but we had some discussion about economics and millennials and all that. Pretty soon, you know, they asked me, you know, what I thought of this and that, and pretty soon I kind of led into meeting with the governor on some of the topics and some of the, you know, and then 4 or 5 of the other counties, the commissioners that were there, pretty much agreed with every point from the
that.
unfunded
Did you have
mandate.
this for the governor when he was here?
Yeah, so I was
So-
present to his staff, to him directly. We had some talks on hearts in there, so I'm hoping he can take the conversation and, you know, look at it with the data and put it together. And then I gave him all the videos because we didn't go around anywhere. We were in the upstairs of the fire hall.
You can get me 2 copies of that,
Of what?
of what that notebook is. That notebook in 2 copies. And I will make a trip to
2 copies
Wasac.
of Nathan's notebook.
Well, let me print them out
Okay.
and stuff. I have them on like 4 different files. And I need to duplicate all the drives. And then I'll give copies to whoever wants them
Yeah,
at that
that's
point.
copy too.
And I'll get you some, John.
Binders. How many binders do you want me to order, those little ones? I'm gonna get black ones because they look cleaner.
I bought white because
I
it's
think
pure.
white's pure.
The black looks cleaner longer.
It does.
It just looks nice. But if you guys want the white ones, they get all dirty, that's fine too. I don't care. I'm just letting you know.
She's not passing judgment at all.
Yeah.
I don't care. I just prefer the black ones. It was Sharon who tutelage.
Oh, but look what you're wearing. Pretty well tells you, you're prejudiced to black.
I like black.
I like white.
I like red too.
Obviously, look what I drive.
I know.
Okay.
Well, the white truck holds its retail value better than any other color. You can resell those.
They're gonna start dropping though, because everybody's got white trucks.
So, small binders, I'm gonna buy like,
Half and half, how about that?
okay.
We will split the difference.
Okay,
Work it
how
out.
many white ones would you like?
Let's
I
get,
think you'll use 10 right away,
yeah, get 10 of each.
10.
because my intent is to take one and drop it off with
I ended up,
Eric Johnson.
I went to the drugstore, couldn't find the ones I want with the Andersons. I
Mhm.
found 3, and then I bought 4 at Walmart
Mhm.
on my way back, just because I know I was going to be making a bunch more of these.
Mhm.
But also, the Statesman reporter that was there was very interested.
Tri-County Forest Group
Uh,
at the Tri.
No,
Oh,
this is a
no,
different
gotcha.
guy. A different reporter for the
Gotcha.
Statesman was there at the,
So many different little meetings.
yeah, with the governor there. And he was really interested in some of the data, so maybe we can get some attention through that. And he was really wanting to get some insight on some of it, so.
Have you followed the sheriff's race in Stevens County?
Other than
Well,
they
he
pulled
did.
out,
Huh?
and then,
Kendall Allen pulled out?
yeah.
I'd heard that.
Did. Yeah, I was gonna say.
He had all the
it wasn't in
signs
the
out,
paper.
and then I guess, I don't know if it was health problems or whatever, he just decided
Ain't worth it.
it ain't worth it.
They got like 5 guys running. Never
Don't get
heard
any
of any
ideas,
of them.
Nathan.
Yeah.
Well, there's 2 in the paper that are listed as all, but Kendall's name wasn't included what the deal was.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
it's a pretty frustrating job. I don't care where you're at.
Oh, yeah.
Mm.
Not enough funding, deal with unions.
So anyway, so our union declined on the 1%.
Oh. So we're still on to the end of the month with that discussion?
With the union?
Isn't that,
Well, I think
or are we back to square one?
with me, I think we turn it over to our hiree and let them do the negotiations from this point forward. I mean, that's what we're paying them for. You know.
Well, be careful, we don't want to end up in a perceived arbitration.
No, they're already filing for that.
Are they?
Oh, yeah. I got 3 documents today. So that's where they want to go, is in the arbitration, which is fine.
Last time
At
I
this
read-
point, you know.
Last time I read the law, we don't have any binding arbitration.
No, but we
We
can
can
still
go
bring
through
one
the
in,
process, yeah.
try to figure out where that's at, which is fine. You know,
But if you don't have the money, you don't have the money, what are you gonna squeeze it to get it?
yeah, I mean, I'm just looking at the numbers in the budget and it's all, it is what it is. I mean, I can
Nothing's
wish
getting
for
better.
something different. Maybe in a year's time, we'll see a change or something, I don't know.
Based upon road conditions, I don't see how we can divert next year.
Well,
So are we canceling the 27th and 28th then? Because we've got.
No, that's different.
That's a hearing,
That's a hearing with regards to whether the foreman's,
Okay.
That's a
right.
yeah,
different
that's,
union.
that's
It's a
public
different
works,
union.
All
sorry.
right, okay.
Um,
No,
you know. Yeah, so, I don't know, I mean, I'm just basing it on what we have and what we don't, you know.
Oh, that was the other thing.
And Ponderay just settled 2 of their
Because I
unions
had
at
ordered stuff
1%.
that you were like,
So it's like, we're not like so far off the beaten track. And we did make some
Anyway, I have.
changes in the contract that benefit, you know, them.
Mhm.
So, I don't know. I mean, heck, I've been working on this since August.
yeah.
But it took 4 or 5 months for them to even understand or want to understand the numbers of what they truly mean. I had to bring Joyce over here.
after listening to the guy, the union representative
Can't understand it.
in here, it's pretty clear, he's
What's that?
clueless.
I said you can explain it to him, you can understand it.
Exactly. You know, for me, it's not personal. It's just, I want everybody to get a raise and stay here, not want to go to another county for
So what's it our ballot box stuff do now if the state's gonna start paying for your postage for your ballots? Is it like that kind of the card before the horse, or it should have been?
What all these extra boxes out?
Well, yeah, now in King County, and it says in one of the papers that the state's paying for the ballots now, for the postage. So when they switch, yeah, and King County sued for that the state has to pay for the postage on ballots.
I've said that all along since the
So
very
when they
first
started
started.
it, why didn't they just think of it then? That would have made it so much easier.
And all the extra boxes,
Yeah, and then they put extra boxes out, and then,
just politics over there.
yeah.
You have a group of politicians in Washington, and and DC for that matter, that all they're doing is anybody that whines to them, and they want votes from that segment, and they run a piece of legislation. It doesn't make sense, they don't care what the ramifications are. They were told when they did the ballots, the ballot box locations, that it was gonna cost X number of dollars. They passed the law, made it law, and then didn't allocate a dime to it.
What about the color, Amanda? I don't think there was any options for that.
I think the color's fine. They don't have to
So did you get the numbers from Josh to break down Ferry counties? Oh, good.
So I've got some of them, and that's why I describe it as it's still incomplete. And I showed a local ranger too, because I wanted him to understand what the numbers are.
Right,
I got it from 2003 forward.
okay.
So the blue is normal timber, but just for us.
Right.
And then that's the stewardship. And there's 2 years of nothing.
Yeah.
So that really highlights, but what I need is the totals all the way through to finish that out.
Right.
And then they're gonna go back.
Yeah,
So
you need this to really make it.
yeah, so Josh is gonna assign somebody to get these numbers, and they're gonna have to go back in the archives, because I think from here it's digital, back then it's in file boxes.
Yeah.
But if we could get these numbers back
That's
here,
pretty impressive.
yes, it will really highlight our portion throughout.
Right.
And then the stewardship, the fact is, you get nothing for it.
Well, how do we even fight for that?
Yeah,
I mean, everybody goes, yeah, I probably should, but. what-
but at least with
what's
the data,
process?
we'll have a start, and then maybe we sit down with Kathy's office and say, hey,
Okay.
you know, here's some real data that says where we're at, why we're here, not just
Yeah,
we're complaining about something, it's just, here's the real data of our economy and the portion that's Ferry County.
Thank you.
And that's why I put this in there, because people need to understand, we're almost half of the Colville.
right.
So theoretically, we should be half of everything here.
Funds, yeah.
Well, so here's something interesting. So, you guys remember that chart that went across at the forest plan?
Mm.
19, whatever, the one that
Mhm.
they took to Congress or whatever. Let me look that up.
You're gonna make me mad.
But I mean, it's just, so there's a picture of it. So this is back in the 80s. And so here's about where I start
Mhm.
with that chart, 88. They're projecting 225? Yeah,
Oh, sure.
by this point.
Not,
And that would be 2020. So let's say 220. So 220 for 17.
Mm.
That's reality. So in their plan, we were going to be harvesting that much. That was their reasoning for pushing for wilderness at that point.
Oh, because we were harvesting so much?
Yeah, it was kind of just
Gonna butcher
harvesting.
everything, huh?
Yeah, the but when you look at the real data, it's just crazy. And it's no wonder we're in such a place.
Well, you see. So you've got this one here, something else.
And Rochelle got me a bunch of data that it's a lot more complicated because it's broke out with fire departments and other entities, EMS. And so I have to go through that in more detail, pull out our portion.
Mhm.
Do you have a copy of
No, that would be awesome.
that? Okay.
If I could get a copy of
Yeah,
that.
but I mean, look at the losses.
In comparisons over time.
Because this runs all the way up to 2008. Yeah, so we've got 102 million, 137.
Of the persona she presents.
Oh, it's
It's
just.
good old things rock and roll.
Yes, that's awesome. I love that fashion too.
Yeah, it tanked.
I
Yeah, because I remember.
didn't
89
realize
being
for
the
a
high
long
point.
time
Right.
who she was,
And
but
then everything
her
just
dad
started
runs
going
the
down since then.
stove shop.
No, I'd like to see those three if I could.
The
Mhm.
big red building.
Cool.
I'll add that too.
Her mom and dad own that. And I see her husband there occasionally.
Mhm.
That's the
I
stove,
knew-
stove
I
and
knew
spa
Henry
place?
was about that high.
That stove and spa place?
Yeah.
Yeah. We had, of course it's winter, and our motor went out or something in our stove. And they were able to order one for us, but we couldn't get there. They were like, yeah, or they had in stock, and we couldn't get there till after they were closed. They actually waited for us to drive. They're like, you'll be here in about an hour and a half, right? We wait. And they had the door locked. We just knocked and they let us in and they let us purchase it and go home and stay warm. Very amazing to.
That is, I love, that's the wonderful thing about small town service. So Nathan,
Yeah.
this is the cabinet that Jennifer found that would suit your needs to go back here. It closes and it locks, so you could put whatever you needed in there, it'd be concealed and secure.
Okay.
We felt like that would be the best one. There's opened ones that are a lot cheaper, but I just feel like a little open shelf is not gonna, it's gonna still show
Yeah, we
everything.
might just pile it up too, be on
Right.
an eyesore.
And then it'll be nicer, exactly, so.
So I had asked Amanda, just, 'cause I got piles of stuff and certain things I don't want to get rid of. And I didn't know if we could maybe look at putting that back here
So,
and give us a little bit more storage.
this
And
is
we could
about
each have a shelf
this
to
height.
put extra
Oh,
stuff.
So Nathan, it's about the same height as this one, and so it'll fit like right in here.
Mhm.
Perfect in that spot.
And then we could each have one of these and then,
You could put purses, backpacks, whatever, if you wanted to lock.
right,
Laptop.
thumb drives or stuff that we don't want just laying out
Yeah,
and stuff. so.
exactly.
So anyway,
That's a good idea.
So we just need a clearance on buying that because it's over $300 if
Right.
that's what you would like. I
I'll have
think,
you each look at it. It's the first time I've seen it. But it was the idea that we needed something.
it's something we've been looking at buying back here
For
from the
over a year.
organization for a long time.
It'd be
So
So
nice.
this is a good, I think an option that's good because it will actually conceal what just the stuff. I mean,
Yeah, I
Because
guess it'd
nobody
be
wants to-
nicer if it's all just piled up everywhere.
yes.
And we can always do a shower or a shelving back here too.
Make a note of it.
Yeah, do like a bookshelf, a little one.
Really cool to
Okay.
have all of our
For more
little
stuff,
stuff.
yeah.
Quick reference.
Is that
I just
better?
know that all my drawers
I know.
packed and some of it I want to keep.
It's just gonna be one of those days where we're like, okay.
Because it's like,
Yeah.
do you have a breakdown of the call bill for each county, acres? In one of your, I know there was a presentation, and I tried to find it. I went through
What's that?
The actual acres per county that they have of the call bill. Rachel has Ferry County's portion, but I was wondering about Ponderay, what the exact numbers are. I pushed them together because it's 1.1 million total, but it's not as exact as what I would like. I'd like to break out all three counties in
We
them,
have about a half.
The harvest.
500 some thousand.
400 some, but close to half.
Yeah.
No, I don't, but I should. I remember something about it. So
I remember that too, and I was trying to find it the other day. It's like,
I'll go through my forest.
it's one of the project folders that we had gotten,
Mm-hmm.
you know, that they had handed out, and they had a more detailed breakout.
I bet you could ask Travis, he would know, or could get the numbers.
Yeah,
Is this
Because the Forest Service will have those numbers.
I thought it had to be.
Yeah,
It's like an
I mean,
awesome
2 to
major
8.
item.
No.
It amazes me when you ask for
I'll look
things
into
from
the
them,
forest plan.
how hard it is for them to find
I'll
it.
look in the forest plan notebook, 'cause I've-
Okay, it might be in there, actually. It should be. Because I'm scrambling to get that all done, and it's like,
No,
well,
that would be.
in proportion, I would like to
Well,
show
that
how
would be-
big
yeah.
its part of Berry County has and how little we've utilized
Yeah,
over the years. And so this was recent data from Sean, and he just gave me like 17 months worth. So it's like, okay, it wasn't quite what I wanted, but made it work. And then he got back with me on how many were treated for this amount of money. And this all comes on the county. So it comes out to that much per inmate. It's a real cost, and it's costing us, and
Which is sad because.
it's getting worse.
and that's something that the state should be.
It is.
Well, the question is, if they're on the state assistance, and all of a sudden they step in our door,
Oh, that's right. Yeah, well, I had that conversation with him too, then all of a sudden they're not.
yeah,
Step
and
back.
so it makes that point of, all of a sudden, we're gonna, so if somebody is having some health issues, I guess you just get locked up, that way it's all paid for. That's kind of the mentality. But what they're finding is, so somebody comes in addicted to drugs, meth, whatever, and then they start having complications because of the withdrawals. So they have to ship them up to the hospital and do a full, and the hospital decides. We have no say. Hospital runs them through every expensive test you can imagine, and there you go. And we're having to pay for it, whether it was truly needed or not, or whatever, it's just the reality of what happens.
So this is like my unfunded mandate.
Because if they're starting to have chest pains or something, I mean, yeah, they're having withdrawals, and that's probably what it is, but you can't take that risk. Send them up there, they run a battery of tests that costs a lot of money,
It just depends.
and
It just depends.
it's just the way we have to do business.
Mhm.
Otherwise, we take the liability of that on, and we don't want to do that.
No.
Got involved in the
So,
It's crazy.
anyway,
It's kind of funny.
that was good data to have from him,
Yeah.
to see what he's
Yeah, it's huge.
really spent on that many people over that period of time, and it's getting worse, and so
Yeah.
so we might be able to refine that over time with conversations with him, and he can pull out some data.
Yeah, I know. I didn't know black for the longest time.
This is good. Good job.
And so if you have ideas, charts, just let me know, like Mike had a few already this morning on the senior exemption, an aging chart for our county over time to kind of see how our dynamics have changed, and maybe a school enrollment chart over a period of time.
Give them a minute.
So
I just let you know.
I know there's more that I'm looking at doing, it's just takes a little bit of time to put all the data together.
So you've already got the ag and, timber
Yeah, the breakdown.
on
The other thing, I really want to dive into this. Because with
Mhm.
WorkSource, that's one of the main charts that we look at, and,
that.
and we're like double the next, which is then double everyone else. So, I mean, we're double Stevens and Ponderay. What are these numbers exactly
Yeah.
that cause it to be this radical? I mean, you can say seasonal, you can say this, you can say that.
Charge that one.
Unemployment. We're unique beyond unique.
Mhm.
So, I mean, you look at the neighboring counties that have high unemployment, we're a whole step above. And it would be nice to really identify over the last 30 years the exact reasoning for that.
Data.
The real data, of who they are in the sense of why are they on unemployment? What's that factor that's causing that beyond our seasonal mining changes, forestry, but even though that has changed, our unemployment is still skyrocketing. So even though the mining's gone up and down and the mill up and down, well, the mill's nothing,
Right.
yet we still have that issue.
Right.
So what are the other factors that causing?
Is there something unique
What is it
within that?
So,
So you
that's,
guys okay with that? I just don't want it to.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
yeah, just for,
Thank you.
I guess for the record in the minutes, if you guys are okay with it, move
Yes,
forward.
I'd make a note in minutes, please.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank
Order
you
that with
for
a
doing
small-
the research and that, I think that'll work great.
Something, yes.
You know what might be interesting, to get off this for a second in regards to the ag and that, is just to see, because we have so much state and federal land, even if you categorized all that as timber.
What that would mean,
Uh-huh. That would be huge.
more of a,
What
Tight
what kind of
comparison
money we would
chart?
get if we
Wow.
had taxes for timberland on state and federal land?
no, actually, I had that conversation with Ray too, of reservation, what that means.
There you go.
Because that was brought up too, at our meeting with the governor, the fact that we have a sovereign nation
Mhm,
and we take care of like 70% of roads
mhm,
and enforcement, law enforcement,
right,
yet we get nothing in the support of that.
right.
We have an obligation, but we're not getting, the help to
Compensation.
do that, and it seems like the federal
So a thought
Forest Service is the same way.
on all of this, and it's been in my mind, it's nothing I want necessarily to change, but when you look at land taxes, and you take land and put it into timber, what is its tax value? And I'm talking private sector, as well as state and federal. We give up a lot of taxes to timber and agriculture.
Mhm.
I'm not advocating we do away with it, but I'm saying,
This
two
is
things I
fine.
want to say about it is, how much money is that in real dollars? And the other part, who benefits from it?
Well, he's coming down
Oh.
the street.
Oh,
Well, I think
Gotcha.
that,
It's a benefit to the state of Washington to maintain ag land and timberland. It's
Morning,
for the
Hazel.
overall state. It isn't for Ferry County.
Morning, Hazel.
well,
Hi, how's everybody?
Good, how are you?
Will you guys, we have 5 minutes, will you get the minutes,
okay.
move us out of our hair and we won't get the schedule?
You asked so nicely.
Please, and thank you.
We probably will have a time between 2 and 2:30 if you guys need to do it at that time.
I have spaces up.
Because Ron will need it and you could talk to me, just to let you know.
Interesting. Love the format.
It's kind of like a breath of fresh air, huh?
Yeah.
This is what happens when we go to trainings.
Well, I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of Monday, May 21st, 2018, as presented, because I didn't see anything in there that jumped out and said it was misspelled, or anything that grabs me as out of order.
That's really weird.
Huh?
Online, it showed me some funny gaps.
Oh,
Like, it's not on here.
no,
I was like,
that looks
what?
good.
Yeah.
Maybe
yours
it's
looks
just this computer does some wonky stuff.
fine. Yeah, it had gaps. It had my periods way away from the words and I moved them back over, but it's not in there.
And if you guys don't write on that, you can use.
I didn't accept my
So I'll second
Oh,
that.
wait. So it's moved and seconded to accept the minutes for Monday, May 21st as presented. All those in favor, any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
I put my pen away from the agenda.
Thank you. See, that was so painless.
Huh?
It was so painless.
Yeah, it is.
It's just informational
It covers what we're supposed to cover.
without a bunch of fluff.
Thank you for these trainings.
Yeah.
I'm not in the meeting last June, but I just didn't.
I appreciate Josh
Right.
working on it, because I
Sometimes
know
you need
they're having
time
to
to
go back
process
to a
it
lot of,
mentally.
because they have to separate Ferry County from all the other things.
Co-sign your
Yes.
Withdraw years for, especially some of the.
And then you were in
this
such
they
a-
have from-
It's always nice to have somebody who has done it before you
20
to
something,
go,
yeah.
this is
Yeah.
how I did it, and this is what I include, this is what I don't include. And it just cuts out all the
There's a chart.
gray,
Doing it for
100 years.
78
Yeah,
years or something.
Yeah.
So she's-
They might not have certain aspects
It's
broken
always
out.
nice to
but
have a
they
nice
at least
mentor.
able to do that. But I tried looking online and everything, didn't get anything.
Yeah, it's not terrible. Thank you.
I think it's the beginning. I think we can really refine and then just update it from year to year, you know, to and not lose the data. Once we put all the work into it, let's retain it. That way it's not having to be redone and
Do you want to put a percentage of how many employees we do this once they've been trained to move on to?
that might be good.
Jennifer, do you have a sign prepared?
Significant, especially in the offices.
I do not, but I'll have it ready in a moment.
Wanted to mention it.
Thank you.
Good morning.
How many weeks, Travis?
In this? One.
One more week, countdown.
Tuesday of next week, I go back to the doctor and hopefully he gives me a good report.
That one looks like it's really, really hot.
It's, yeah, like all this weekend was pretty miserable.
But you don't have any mosquito bites on your arm.
I don't, but I can't swat them either when they're anywhere
Oh,
else.
that's true.
Yeah, when I had my wrist surgery and that was killing the shoulder,
Oh,
I
yeah.
ended up doing I would wrap it
Oh,
around my shoulder just because I couldn't stand that constant
oh,
pressure.
this thing pulling on my neck is way
Yeah.
worse than the
So
pain
yeah, I
on my
loosened it
shoulder.
up and I put it around here sometimes just to take the pressure off.
I noticed
And
at
yeah.
the Tri-County meeting, you took that strap off, and laid it on the
I
table.
do, yeah, yeah, little tricks to get through the day.
And how long will we be in executive session?
Probably 30 minutes, I think. You need that much time?
Amanda,
What, yes?
how long was this executive stuff?
30 minutes?
Just-
30 minutes.
Okay, I just want to make sure I wasn't.
Wait, did I put more than that?
No,
Yeah,
Well, there's an hour gap, and I wasn't sure if it was for the whole hour or.
Yeah, I put a whole hour so that they could talk about, because we're gonna do signing of,
So 30 minutes in, and then we'll come out and do stuff.
right, I don't know if I have an hour.
we just start out at 30.
You can
and
just
then
start
we'll
out
go
with a
on.
half an hour. They were just gonna talk about the contract and review it and whatever.
Okay.
was the risk manager gonna be here?
Yes, he's supposed to be here.
Okay.
Travis?
Yeah.
I was wondering, do you have a breakout, we're looking for the data for the actual acres of the Colville and Ponderay and Stevens? Do you have,
Acres of national forest by county.
yeah, do you have a chart or information on that that's real detailed?
I bet there's probably something in the plan revision documents I could look and send you, you know. I
Okay.
don't think it would take much digging to
No,
figure
Oh,
that
it
out.
should be, yeah.
I know I have it on a document somewhere,
Do you
but
want it for each county or just Ferry?
all three counties,
Okay.
just kind of the breakout of what that is.
Okay, yeah.
Thank you. Should we go ahead and, what you want to do, sir?
Yeah, take your pick.
So we're on tonight. Doesn't matter so much, yeah, it's coming up.
And then we officially call it, I guess. Wait for them.
it's easier than. So, this is something you got sent, but it's, did you lock the door already?
Oh, because he's playing out. Butch isn't coming today, that's right.
Somebody just tapped on the door.
He had that doctor's appointment come up.
Oh, that's right. Okay, this is the break.
Sorry.
Okay, so we're gonna go into executive session for 30 minutes in regards to personnel. So from 10:30 to 11.
Right now.
Austin, Texas.
She's
Working down. Yeah, she's working down there.
Oh, she's working. What is it?
She's doing a